Wait a second.
Your T-shirt looks like a, one of those tomato can sauce.
Tomato can.
Yeah, the tomato can sauce.
No.
What does it say? Red sauce.
No.
What is it? Red sauce. I don't know.
Actually,
Can of tomatoes. You know those can of tomatoes.
Why do you have notes today?
How many
Is this
notes
the
do you
first
have?
time you have notes?
No, this is my note.
Yeah, why do you have
Are you
notes?
copying from me? Because now I have my
I don't
book.
have the Serie A stuff like your father has it. Look at him. I'm not a
No, but you
pro
always
like
make fun
him.
of
Yeah,
you
but
always
you-
make fun of notes.
So he asked me where this shirt comes. It comes from Vintage Pro. I have friends in Canada. They appreciate my AC Milan
Love.
love,
Yeah,
and they said,
and-
"Anto, I think you deserve something."
Well, after
deserve-
the performance that you guys put against
Yeah.
Napoli,
Yeah.
for me, you know what the title of this podcast is? I already decided.
What is it?
You tell me if you approve. If you don't approve, it won't be there. People won't be seeing this
Campione
right
d'Italia?
now. No, not Campione d'Italia. It says Massimiliano Allegri outclassed Antonio Conte.
That's not a good title.
Do you guys like the title? Do you agree? Hold on. Do you agree with the title?
Oh, the title, yes, but but it's not what you want to start a podcast. I said, first of all, Massimiliano is a long name.
Yeah, no, I actually
You
didn't
can
have
say
Massimiliano.
Max.
No, I just had Allegri. Do you guys, Peter?
Yes.
Voice
yes.
of reason many times. Do you agree or do you disagree?
No, yeah, yes. He and ultimately you won the game. His tactics, we know how Allegri plays, but going forward, when you have the right players playing against maybe the second, third string center backs, that's the outcome you're gonna get. But I have to give credit where credit's due. Milan played almost the whole second half in 10 men and shut down Napoli. So Allegri, probably is the most defensive coach that we have in Italy, but he kind of used the Antonio Conte tactics and closed shop when needed to.
The first half for Milan, the approach was perfect. I mean, how many times have we seen teams do this to Napoli? Very often. Yeah, I agree that the injuries obviously play a part for Napoli. I don't know. He also decided to play Marianucci, who never played before, instead of going with Bokama. But it was the game plan was spot on from Allegri. You must have been on cloud 9.
I gotta be honest with you. I gotta tell you exactly the way I was. First of all, I was by myself watching the game home because the studio was not available. Second of all, I was with your father and the producer. We were in New Jersey.
I thought you just said you were home alone.
Well, before the game, and then I got a phone call from Rosario.
Okay.
Rosario said, "Ando, you coming to watch the game?"
About the game.
I was a little nervous, but I did not celebrate when AC Milan scored because I'm meant from the south, and
This guy's the biggest liar of all time.
no,
all you've done all season long, even in the Champions League, you were going for
Rosario
Manchester
is my
City
friend.
over
I am a
Napoli.
friend from the south. I was happy, but I did not celebrate. I would have been celebrating
lying.
if I would be scoring against Juventus or Inter. It's a different story.
All right. Are we
But
going to talk about the
Napoli-
game, or we're going to talk
Let's
about?
talk about the game. Let's talk about the game. I would say AC Milan outclassed Napoli more than Allegri outclassed Conte. I'll tell you the reasons why. We have individualities, plural, on AC Milan that they took over the midfield because midfield's 90% of the time wins you the game.
I agree with that.
So those individualities that we have on AC Milan, they outclassed Napoli's individualities. KDB did a very good job until the substitution. Then he got called out. He didn't like to be subbed. Okay? Conte is trying to micromanage what is going to happen in 2-3 days. He was trying to micromanage on Sunday. You just said it. You put the young kid over there on the right D. What was his name
Played
again?
center back, Marianucci.
Marianucci. Nice kid. He deserves his position and all the stuff, but he got picked up by Pulisic. So Pulisic,
Even when Milan wins, you talk about the other team.
I'm talking about Milan.
You talk about KDB,
The one person you should
Marianucci.
be talking about is Modric, and you don't even say it. That's the first person.
Oh my God.
Listen, Modric doesn't need to be reminded. Modric is there right now, and it's no longer a surprise.
Who was the player for AC Milan yesterday?
It was Modric, it was Pulisic, it was the defense. I gotta be honest with you. It was even the big gun that we have.
Pavlovic.
Pavlovic. That guy, man, I can tell you. He can dribble the ball. He can dribble on the short space. He can dribble the ball. And nobody's expecting this guy here to make a run into the box. He makes run into the box.
He does it a lot.
I've seen it done 3 or 4 times, but now it's becoming an habit. You're a defender. You're not supposed to be there. You're supposed to be just defending. So I like what I see. And I want them to continue to do what they wanted to do. Now, the bad things about I'm not going to blame Estupiñán for the defensive mistake that he made on the penalty. But the producer said to me, Anto, this stupid idiot, he should have just let him score or just let him take the shot, because you never know. At least if they score, you go down 2-1, but you still have 11 players.
This has been a theme with Napoli against Manchester City. It's been a theme with Chelsea recently, where Sanchez got a red card. He got sent off, and after the game, Maresca came out and said, I would rather concede the goal, depending on the time that it happens. I'd rather concede the goal than have to play in 10 men. So for sure, agreed. Let's keep on the Milan theme, and then we can move on to Kevin De Bruyne and Napoli, because there's a lot to talk about there. In the summer, we sat here and we said what a smart move it was. Make sure you get everything, all your bullet points.
I took a few notes. Look at your father.
Yeah,
it's got 10 pages.
This
is my note, guys.
It's just a list of names.
My notes.
But you already said what you had to say.
Not really. I just said it. I just started.
It's just a list of names on Milan.
I just put a bunch of names. I'm just reminding me what.
Okay,
so starting 11.
So Milan thoroughly in the summer. We came here, we sat, and I said, getting Allegri was the best bit of business that Milan could do. He makes you play the way that Milan was actually built to play. You look at the way that they've defended. They've conceded the least amount of goals XG against, is the best in all of Europe. They don't concede many chances. You knew that they were going to approach this game in the right way. Coming into the match, I knew Milan would not lose this game just because of the momentum that they had, but also the roster. You look at the midfield and you look at the attack. It's second to none. It's hard to say that they're worse than any team in Serie A. You can make the argument against it. So the fact that he shored up the defense and has played into the team. So the first 30 minutes, you look at the way that even Pulisic was sending the balls that broke the line to Fofana, who had a great opportunity. Those are the things that Allegri has brought to the team. The approach, the seriousness. I said it last week as well, but even being football, being smart, being intelligent, understanding how to manage a game, to go up against the champions of Italy and to be with 10 men for that long of time with the quality that Napoli has is not an easy thing to do, yet they managed to come over the line. So I see just a seriousness about this Milan team that I love. It's a seriousness that the club has needed after making so many poor decisions. You got to give credit. Everyone wanted to bash the Milan management, and I think there was definitely times that you could say they made wrong decisions. They got it absolutely spot on this past summer, and people want to laugh at Milan. They laugh when we said that they could challenge. They could be an outsider for the Scudetto. I really see that they could go all the way into May and fight for the title. And that's without even touching on Pulisic and Modric yet. But that, Peter?
Where do you want me to start?
Milan.
Storia di un grande amore.
Pulisic, Modric.
I got a lot of notes for Naples.
Want me to start? So, Allegri ball, that's what we see here. I think Milan, it's no surprise that if you shore up that defense, they have quality going forward. You added a player such as Modric, who can easily play till he's 50 years old, because the guy is able to read the games. One interesting thing that I saw, Modric is second in interceptions for the whole Serie A.
Wow.
Okay, so we know the quality that it gives you going forward, but then even in interpreting his role in front of the defense, he's able to read the game so well, and that gives you an extra boost, especially in Allegri style, team. Then you add Rabiot, you add Pulisic. We haven't even seen the real Leao come onto this team. So, when it comes to counter-attacking, there's a very scary team, and they're comfortable sitting back. Allegri is very comfortable sitting back. It's not going to be pretty, but they're going to get the 3 points, and that's ultimately what they're going to have to do week in and week out. One game a week. You're going to be healthy, focused, and you're going to challenge all these teams. And if you can pick up the points versus the Napoli, the Juventus, the Inter, you're very easily in a Scudetto conversation. Ultimately, it's still early. It's still early to really start saying, oh, this can happen, because we know at any given moment there could be a slight turn for the worst. But the way that they've been playing right now has been exactly what you expect from a Allegri team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's been spectacular, although it hasn't been a lot of 1-0 results. There's been a lot of goals, actually, with this Milan team. And, Allegri knows how to win. And that's where he's going to. And you mentioned it, like, the decisions by the management in the past have always been, we got to play a certain style of football. We have to work on entertaining the team. And Allegri's the complete opposite. He's like, hey, what do we want? Champions League to win. Then that's what we're going to try to do.
So, we're better than Inter, or what's the deal with this? We're better than Inter,
I think we still have to see them play each other.
Yes, but not right now. Are we better than you guys?
You guys are better than us right now. You're in first place.
Well done.
There are two ways of playing the game. You score 1-0, and then you park the
truck, the 16-wheeler truck.
And then you park the truck, right? Or the bus. There's another way to play. You're winning 1-0, and you keep going forward, and you're trying to get the 2-0. Well, Allegri, he likes the first thing. He scores 1-0, and what happened? All 10 players, they were not even waiting for them at midfield. They were waiting
at the box, on the top of the box.
Just outside the box, like 10 yards outside the box. So this is Allegri's ball. He did well. He won the game. So everything is in his favor right now. You cannot say anything. Pulisic was great. Salamakers.
Don't read from your notes.
Was great. Even the one that you don't like, Fofana, he did very well.
Fofana's grown this year.
He's doing well.
Last year, I thought he was pretty bad.
Him. I mean, I wanted to see more Richie, but I like Fofana.
But he went, he understood it was the space, it was vertical, and he went for that. He misses. So Rabiot did a good job. I mean, you're doing the things, the simple things that the coach is telling you, how to do it, and they're doing it. So.
Love this.
For AC Milan.
I love this. First of all, he didn't have. It was not that convinced AC Milan was going to win.
What do you mean? Wait. Yeah. I had him in second place, and then you lost to Cremonese. I put him in fourth place. I still got you in the top four. For Champions League.
You cannot change anything anymore.
No. Okay. Champions League. That's how you.
Did you have him top four?
Third. Yeah.
You have him third. Yeah, I had him third.
Okay. You're going for Champions League now.
Or fourth, maybe.
Top four.
If the Inter doesn't do well, Napoli, you don't know what Napoli is going to happen. Yeah, you're going to be there. You're going to be there.
The issue.
You're going to be close.
The issue with Milan trying to kind of repeat what Napoli did last year, where they didn't have European football, is I think this Napoli is still a much better, more serious opponent than Inter was last year. Napoli won't drop the points like Inter dropped last year, because they'll get to a certain moment where if Conte thinks that the Scudetto's at risk, he won't go all out in Champions League. He won't care about like Inzaghi did with the Coppa Italia and the Champions League. I think he'll make sure that they don't slip up in games that Inter slipped up last year. So that's not as much a detriment to Milan. It's just I think the opponent will be very different. And the reality is, we said it many times.
What makes you say this?
Because the history of Antonio Conte's career.
Forget about
I've been following Conte's career for 15 years. I'm telling you, this is what he does. What does he do? He wins league titles. Not saying that you're not going to win, but what I'm saying is that Napoli is a tougher opponent than Inter was last year in terms of regaining the title. One thing that I absolutely loved, the moment that I loved the most, and I said it before, Modric is my favorite player that I've watched in the Serie A so far this season. It's after 97 minutes, you got Luka Modric, a man that's won the Ballon d'Or, 6 Champions Leagues, 4 La Ligas, taking his country to World Cup finals. He gets on his knees and raises his arm and celebrates like it's a World Cup final. That's a champion. That is somebody who takes so much pride in what he does. At 40 years old, they said it before, but he chose not the most easy path. He chose to go to Milan. And Milan has been very smart choice as well, because the midfielders that they put around him, they put him in a position to succeed. But I just love that spirit. There are players that are half his age that don't play with the same intensity that Luka Modric has. But it's the fact that he understands right away where he is. He grew up a Milan fan. He gets that this club, what they did last year was not right. What Milan did last year was a disgrace. Milan should never finish. outside of a Champions League spot.
You know,
He gets that.
This is about you just, even though I didn't write it down, but you spot on what you just said right now. Every single AC Milan player that comes into the field right now, whether you're coming from the bench or whether you're starting the game,
a good point.
They play with a chip on the shoulder.
Yeah.
If Modric is capable to do what he's doing at his age, and I will never mention again his age, because right now it's no longer a factor. Modric belongs on a starting lineup day in and day out, regardless of the numbers of competition that you're playing and all the stuff. If Modric plays at that level, at that intensity, that kind of a drive, it's contagious to the rest of the team.
100%.
I see Tomori, I see Gabbia, I see all of the rest of the squad of AC Milan. They are the focus and the intensity that they just walking into. If you do not have that intensity at the beginning of the game, at the start of the game, you can have the best team on the paper, you end up failing. So
100%.
that's what it makes a huge difference. And you know what? We keep forgetting that right now, Tare was material. It was material that
He went to Croatia to go speak to him and make sure that they could sign him.
Tare,
And he said that made the difference.
everybody discount what Tare has done for AC Milan. So I think Tare, he needs a big. He should be taking some of the prize, because everybody we're talking about what's going on the field.
Good point.
So Tare is the one, number one. Number two, when I saw yesterday before the game, there was the Tribuna d'Onore was filled up with the big guns. Gattuso was there, Ibra was over there, Don Fabio was over there, Galliani was over there, and that's what's a surprise. I see Galliani and Ibra, greeting each other. Maybe that was Galliani's son over there or the nephew. I'm not sure. It was somebody else. So I see those guys making a connection again. That tells me that if we bring Galliani back into the equation, imagine Galliani and Tare, what are they going to be able to do? I'm not sure in what role Galliani might come in, but Galliani is a big gun, I'm telling you. I never met him. I'm asking you so many times, hey, I want to meet him. You're gonna let me know when Galliani comes to New York. I want to meet him. So anyway, we are there. I'm not going to say to win, but we're going to challenge and we're going to make the life miserable of the big teams. Because the small teams, those are the ones that worry me the most, but the big teams, they're going to have a tough time dealing with
You don't want to play Milan. You don't want to play Milan.
That's right.
I don't think a lot of teams will want to play Milan. Are we exaggerating that? Or are we just calling a spade a spade? Are we saying the truth?
No, you're not exaggerating. Right now, they are every part of the field. They're very strong. They got a good goalkeeper. The defense is doing well. The midfield is one of the best. And when you got Pulisic and you got Leao up front, Jimenez, if
he's the only downside.
If he doesn't do well, then
he's the only one who hasn't done well.
You put Leao
So
as the
far.
nine.
Yeah, you could put Leao.
But I'm saying so far he's the only one who hasn't done well.
It's strong everywhere. Strong.
I also think this is silly. There's no need to create controversy right now, but I actually think it's a good thing that Leao kind of knows that it's not only his team anymore, right? Because there was times where I feel like, if he showed up, he showed up. It's nice that he sees Modric doing that. It's nice that he sees Pulisic doing that. It's nice that the fans are talking about, oh my God, we have this. It's not all on one player. I think that'll help him a lot. But again, he's only going to be a positive when the team comes. Let's talk about Napoli. Let's dive into it. That you said coming into this that you have a lot of notes on what Napoli did wrong. I said it as well. I'll let you start, and then I'll piggyback off of what you say.
A lot of mistakes. The first one, there's Marianucci. I mean, I don't care how old you are. I don't care. This is basic elementary defense. The guy's in midfield. Grab him at midfield. You don't let him go at midfield. Okay, you let him go at midfield. Before you enter the area, you try to tackle him and you don't get him. Hello, from when I was 14 years old, you either get the man or you get the ball or you get something. You got to get something. This was basic elementary. This guy, Marianucci, he didn't get anything. So that was the biggest mistake right there.
And did you think that before the match?
Well, I don't know Marianucci. I have no idea who the guy is. I never seen him play.
They got it from Empoli, yeah.
They got from him. But from what I understand, Buchema was not available.
No, he
was
available.
Bench.
Sky reported that
But he was
decided
coming from an injury, no?
No, Sky reported that he put Marianucci.
Champions.
Because Champions League was coming up, and he wanted to manage the energy levels.
Yeah. That's big.
Which I disagree
Yeah,
with.
big mistake.
Disagreed.
Big mistake.
Before the game, not just from the mistake. I disagreed before the match.
So that was the start of. You get a goal in the first 2 minutes, everything is going to go. The 70,000, 75,000, I mean, that place was electric.
Curva Sud was back.
Yeah. Huh?
The Curva Sud was back.
You know, your knees trembles with this. Hoylander, good. Non-existent.
I like that. He's the only one I don't like about Napoli. Because what he did to AC Milan, excuse me, Catano, then you can move over. The guy was totally wiped from the field. He's like he never touched the ball.
He didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything.
So Conte,
45 million. See ya.
You were saying that Conte was outcoached. I think that Conte, he tried with his 4 midfielders, and now it's not working. What happens? Lobotka is in front of the defense, and he wants the ball. De Bruyne wants the same ball in front of the defense. So they both want the same ball in front of the defense. What happens is that Conte tells De Bruyne, hey, go get the ball, because in front of you're not going to lose the ball. Well, he lost a lot of balls yesterday. Not in front of the defense, but in the third half, he lost every ball.
Yep.
Okay, so he was having a bad game. But what happened with the other games that I saw, De Bruyne goes in front of the defense. He gets the ball. He's not going to lose it. So he touches here, touches there. Then when they lose the ball, De Bruyne stays all the way up with Highlander. And then McTominay does the run for him so that De Bruyne doesn't have to run up and down. It's not working. This is not working. With AC Milan, this is not working because they were not... because they were all back, they were not finding the space to make the nice pass. It was just possession back and forth,
Mm-hmm. Do you think that I totally 100% agree with you, and I don't think that this was the game again to play with 4 midfielders. I think it was the game to have some speed on the width because you know the way that Milan is going to play contained. Do you think De Bruyne is occupying the space that McTominay had last year? Because McTominay was the decisive guy. I think he scored 13 goals. I think 9 out of 13 were at 0-0. He was the guy that sometimes unlocked the match. We know Napoli's firepower was terrible. One of the lowest scoring Scudetto teams ever. And now you're not getting McTominay in those positions. For me, Pete, that's like the thing that was so glaringly obvious. Yeah. And then he takes both of them out. He took both of them out. Which we could get to the subs after.
Yeah,
but.
You could take one out, McTominay, you could take him out. But De Bruyne, you're playing with an extra man. I mean, the guy is of a different level. You got to leave him there because he could invent something, a shot, a penalty, something from outside the area, foul. You have to leave De Bruyne there. What I wanted, and I thought that Conte took too long of a time, Politano was doing a great job. Crossing.
Yes.
Because all the dangers came from Politano.
Yep.
Okay? But nothing from the left.
Mm-hmm.
So even the guy who was there...
Noah Lang and Neres. He put Noah Lang.
They should have been starting.
Gutierrez was there. He was not doing anything. So Neres should have gone right away on the left side, dribbled the man, crossed the ball, and tried to get something. You had Lukaku, is a big guy, so maybe you can get
now
there.
One cross to Luka.
Right. I thought it took a little bit too much time for he to make the decisions. What were you gonna say?
I was about to say this one here, 100% spot on again. But what I noticed, because last night when I went back home from my friend's job parties, I put the game back on. And I saw one thing that he really said, how the hell is this guy doing the double duties? I see Lobotka chasing Modric all the way, almost to the top of the box of AC Milan.
Man to man.
Man to man. I said, you don't want to play more. First of all, a lot of the AC Milan players, they interchange position. They don't give you references. When I see Lobotka, which is the brain of the midfield of Napoli, chasing Modric all the way to the top of the box, but not one time, many times.
Well, they were playing high pressure.
He took himself out of the equation at some point, to the point that he was subbed at some point because the guy, he had nothing left.
They were playing a high pressure game.
But that's what I'm saying. But Lobotka should not
So
really be
Lobotka
guarding.
Probably, but that's a coach.
He tried to take.
That's
Listen,
a tactical.
But Gaetano, he's trying to take Modric out of the game. I said, if I put Lobotka on this guy here, I'm gonna limit his intelligence and his distribution and his geometry, and then we're gonna try to win the game there because he's the brain of the team.
But that goal after 2 minutes, then it changed a lot of things.
Pete.
On the second goal, okay, Anguissa and Di Lorenzo, mamma mia.
Di Lorenzo more than Anguissa.
I mean, this guy Plauic, he got the ball from 50 yards and he goes. Anguissa, he stays like this, like, I'm not going to touch you. And then Di Lorenzo, he goes inside the area and Di Lorenzo is like, somebody's got to put pressure on the ball. Otherwise, they're going to score. So there were a lot of things that went wrong for Napoli yesterday. But I would like to see this game again with full team.
AC Milan would have won maybe 3-0 or 4-0 if it was full team.
Pete, I agree with basically everything that you said. I think it's completely spot on, and that's why I say everybody knows I love Antonio Conte, but for me he got it absolutely wrong. Especially the fact that they didn't push when they had the 2-1. When they scored the 2-1, I said, okay, now Napoli's going to score 2-2, of course.
That's what I
thought.
That's what I thought.
They got worse. They actually got worse. And I think the unbalance of the subs, you do not take out De Bruyne and McTominay. You can't take out both. It's impossible. It actually doesn't make any sense. What makes sense? You want to put Noah Lang and Neres for 1v1 ability? 100%. I agree with that. When you play against a low block, you need creative players. But McTominay has scored 1 million important goals running into the box. So if you take De Bruyne out, then you leave McTominay. Or if you take McTominay out, you leave De Bruyne. De Bruyne is capable with one ball over the top to Luka to get a header. For me, very rare that I say it, but he got it completely, and absolutely wrong.
I think he was preparing for the Champions League. And that's a factor that was not there last year when he could play full squad, everybody ready to go for the Scudetto. I think you're losing to Manchester City. You don't want to lose 2 games in a Champions League, and his focus is also to balance that. Obviously, you're facing a Milan, but I guess he didn't bench all of his starters. He just wanted to bench maybe the center back just to make sure that he has him healthy, considering that they don't have anyone else. So that part is one thing that you have to obviously look at. As Gaetano said, the midfield ultimately was a failure because you didn't add anyone, especially with Milan's low block. You didn't have anybody that's going to be able to take his man on 1v1, and as Gaetano said, either take a shot or cross the ball into the box. So when you do that, you're keeping everything in front of Milan, and Milan's happy to just go side to side, monitor and see where the ball's going to hit. De Bruyne didn't have a good game, I know a lot of people were going crazy because of what he didn't say hello to Conte, whatever. I would also remind everyone that was the same reaction Lautaro had some time ago when Conte was at Inter, and they were able to squash it.
We're talking about like a champion and a guy like Lautaro. It's different. I don't know how De Bruyne is going to take it.
Yeah, but you know what? Lautaro also is the captain of the team. He's also, someone that has won. So he's the leader of the team.
He was the captain at that time?
No, it was not.
He wasn't?
I don't think he was the captain. Either way, but also what he made in his career. But Conte after the game, I don't know if you guys saw what he said.
I saw it.
Conte said, I hope he was mad at the result and not mad at me, because if he's mad at me, he chose the wrong person to go after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't. I think it's just.
Listen, go ahead.
I think it's just words, really. Ultimately, you got to see also how he's going to respond. A player knows he has a responsibility. The same. You don't have to go out for coffee every day with your coach. You need to make sure you have the coach that's going to make you the better player.
Fair enough.
So these are things that happen. Whether he's upset at Conte, upset at the result, upset at himself because he didn't have a good game. I'm sure if he watches his game, he's going to be disappointed with himself. Napoli got De Bruyne to bring them to the next level, and ultimately, so far, he hasn't done that. It's still early. Still has to gel with this team. I think Conte also has to understand, hey, I can't play all my midfielders.
That's
I
the
might
thing.
have to have one sitting down.
That's the thing.
And so that, Anguissa was supposed to leave this summer. Anguissa wasn't supposed to stay. When they brought in De Bruyne, it was going to be within the midfield. De Bruyne, Lobotka, McTominay. Now with Anguissa, he's trying to keep everyone in.
Pete, I kind of disagree with you. I'll tell you the reasons why. Those little details, even how you explain the, subbing somebody like De Bruyne. You don't go in front of the camera. You said, I hope it was mad about the score, the results, not mad about the fact that I subbed him. You just don't say that. There are those little cracks, those details at the end. They become from small, little bigger, little bigger, little bigger, little bigger, and then you become, I said, you know what? I don't have, this guy doesn't have my back anymore and all that stuff. So do not discount those things, because De Bruyne doesn't have to just take his hat off to Conte. De Bruyne, like Marco said, he has won just about everything that was there to be won. Okay? So is Modric. So those tiny little things, they're not like, oh, you don't have to have coffee. Forget about coffee. This is more than coffee. This is big. This is a big cake, and it's like it's big. It's not coffee.
I don't think it's that
It's
big.
not coffee.
What needs to be seen is what happens afterwards.
We'll see.
That's what needs to be seen. Episodes like this happen all the time. Every coach is different. Conte, by him saying these words, he knows what he's doing. So he's making. He's making a point to De Bruyne. This is my team.
I hope so too. I'm kind of with Anto.
But this is my team. So I won the Scudetto without you. You have to understand what I'm doing. If I take you out, I take you out. No one's bigger than the team. So, then it's gonna be how De Bruyne responds
that
to
reacts.
it.
So it's like my way or the highway. So that's what I.
That's Conte. That's Conte.
You would hope that they've had this conversation as well. Like
Yeah,
you would,
I'm sure
you
they
would,
did.
you would hope that this was something that's been talked about.
Listen, certain things you don't have to talk about. So it depends on how the reaction is.
But
Depends on what was
But think about it,
was
Pete.
said.
Over the summer, when De Bruyne is talking to Conte about joining Napoli, I'm sure Conte has said, "Listen, there's gonna be times where I need to sub you out. I'm gonna manage your minutes." De Bruyne had this with Guardiola as well. It was well pointed out that they had a scuffle, and Guardiola said, "I like that he had the reaction. It shows me that he's got some energy." That you haven't said anything. Do you have a take on this or no?
No.
Okay.
This is something. It's
Bullshit.
not- yeah.
Okay. Let's move on then. But I am a little bit worried about this Napoli. Just not attentive, especially in the defensive stage. It was always defense
They had
wins.
three out of four were new players.
Not
They
against,
never played together.
Against Pisa, they conceded 2 goals. Against Fiorentina, they fell asleep in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah,
It's not one game.
Yeah, that's happened.
It's multiple games now that I'm seeing them defend. The reason why they won the Scudetto is because of the defense. If you can't defend in the same manner, you're not winning. You're not winning anything. So those are my concerns. And I thought they got better defensively. I thought that with the signings they added, but so far they haven't. Is it the injuries? Is it time? I don't know. But it should be pointed out that they do have more points right now than they did last season after 5 games.
Marco,
So,
the reason why they
just
want
throw
to
that in there.
Scudetto is because Inzaghi tied that game with Lazio. Not because
Pedro.
of... okay. All right, Pedro, that's right.
Let's talk
Pedro,
about where should we go? Juventus-Atalanta?
Let's go Juventus.
Juventus-Atalanta?
Yeah.
Another, for me, very disappointing result from Juventus. You just tie 1-1 against Hellas Verona, a game that you needed to win, by the way. The only thing, I learned 2 things from this game. I learned that for me, Juventus is, maybe I got too excited after the transfer market and thought this Juventus, at first I didn't think Juventus would compete for a title. Then after the transfer market, I said, okay, you know what? Maybe with these signings, maybe they're going to click and maybe they could fight. And now I say to myself, they're less sure than Napoli and Milan after watching that game. Do you agree?
No, it's just funny.
Why?
I mean, no, it's not. I mean, it's funny that they won versus Inter, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's it. They're gonna compete to win." Then after 2 games, all of a sudden they're shaky again. It's just, this is the reality of the Campionato, and we still have a lot of games to play. There's still 33 games to play, so there's gonna be a lot of ups and downs, especially with Champions League in the middle. We don't have proven champions. Look at Juventus. That team, I'm sorry. You can say all you want, Openda, Jonathan David, all these guys. if you're getting a striker nowadays for less than 60 million, he's either young and nobody knows about him, or he's not good. That's the reality. You get him on a free, and you spend crazy money. I know Jonathan David was on free, but
it says a lot that Juventus was able to get Jonathan David. It just 1
the
plus
Premier
1.
League team wants him, they could get him.
If any other team wanted him for free, they could have gotten him. Let's just say the fact is fact. And Jonathan David doesn't even come in this game. But again, for me, Tudor continues to make the same mistake that I've seen over and over again, which is he's so strict on this 3-4-2-1 that to me has been imbalanced. Even when they beat Inter, I would say, even when they've gotten results, it's imbalanced. This Juventus cannot play with the 3-4-2-1, especially with the players that he puts in these positions. Number one, the 3 defenders in the back don't want the ball. They're allergic to the ball. Then you got Kalulu, who's playing as a right wing back. The guy's not a right wing back. He's wasted. He's got to play as one of the center backs because he's good with the ball. And then you have this midfield 2, which this time he puts Koopmeiners and Thuram, which is even more imbalanced without Locatelli there. They don't win any balls. There's nobody in this Juventus team that wins any balls in the midfield. You need three midfielders.
So
there's very few teams that could play with 2 midfielders. And I'm telling you right now, Juventus is not one of those teams.
I got some good news and I got some bad news.
Let's start with the good news.
Let's start with the bad news.
Bad news.
Igor, Kalulu out of position. Adzic, come on. The guy had 1 shot. You make him start in
What a
this
mess
game.
of a game.
Huh?
Disaster of a game.
A disaster.
Disaster.
Come on, Igor. To me, Juventus went backwards to Lazio. Koopmeiners, not existent. Nothing there. Openda, whatever they called them.
It's up and down, right?
Openda, I was not impressed.
Not at all.
So he made 5 substitutions. Okay, Igor. And David is now one of the ones that you bring in. I mean, you got 3 center forwards. You don't know which one. It's like
Vlahovic too.
It's like you take you take it from a hat, and we'll see which one. But you make 5 substitution and David doesn't come in. What is this guy thinking? And you got to win the game. You need to win the game. Which
Also, you know what Openda said? His best quality is running into space, is running in behind. You're playing against a team that's sitting back on the counter.
You're gonna do that.
So why are you playing? He's not the player for that. He's not the player. They were not the players for this game. They were not the players for the game that you had at your disposal. I like Tudor. I like the fight. I like the spirit. I like they have the attitude. But I've been tricked before. I've seen Juventus at moments. Thiago Motta last year, the 4-4 against Inter. RB Leipzig down to man, coming back and winning 3-2. You need to see it for a sustained period. But you also need to be able to adapt to the team that you have. And so far, for me, he has not done that. Whether he won or whether he lost, even in the games when Juventus won, I said, oh, this is not sustainable. First of all, they're conceding so many goals. There was no pressure on the ball. I genuinely think, and I know Juventus fans don't like to hear this because they don't like McKennie. I think McKennie is actually needed in the squad.
I was about to say that.
I think McKennie is desperately needed in the squad for one reason. There's no player in this squad that has those attributes. There's no player that puts in a tackle. There's no player that breaks up play. The amount of times that they could have made a foul in midfield, that somebody could have stepped and put some pressure on the attacking player to stop a goal, but they can't do that. Thuram, look at that. They could all be good, but you need, as a unit, you need to package them together, and they haven't gotten that balance beat.
Yeah, no, it's hard. They don't know who's their starter. Like even Vlahovic scores 2 goals. Now all of a sudden he's the starter. Meanwhile, he was supposed to be sent packing. Then Jonathan David, Openda. So there's a lot of issues there. I think Koopmeiners is just, they're trying to, they just are left scratching your head because you're like, we spent so much money on this guy. Can we fit him anywhere on the board? And every single time he plays, he just disappoints.
There was Juventus fans that liked his performance.
I mean, he didn't play bad. Come on.
We're holding him to a really low standard, I think.
Listen, Koopmeiners, he tried even to take a few shots. I mean, he played games.
He should not be the last.
Prior games.
He should not be the midfielder. There was times where he was the furthest man back in the Juventus, building up from the midfield. Did you spend 50 million on Colt Miners for that?
Yeah,
You spent 50 million because of his goal scoring ability.
A lot of confusion. Then even for the players that you guys have, you can play with wingers, and you don't. The kid Zagrova too, who, is interesting. I think it's just trying to understand where do you fit all these players, and I think it might take some time. We also can't get too excited, right? Because I think the objective for Juventus obviously is to always, try to win the Scudetto. But the reality of this team is you want to make sure that you solidify your place in Champions League and that you have something to build on. So that's the biggest worry for me. What are you building on with this Juventus team? Listen, versus Atalanta, they had a lot of chances to score, and they didn't. They have to be more clinical there. Atalanta, the one chance they got, boom, they scored. So that also shows the fragileness, maybe, of a team. But, you can't go crazy with the result. It's more so how do we see this team moving forward. I think there's certain players that, such as Yildiz, right, that you're going to say, okay, this is the player that we have to make sure that we put him in the best position to win and also to help us, one, for the team, but also for his development as well.
But so many times it was just give the ball to Yildiz, and if Yildiz is not going to create something, what are you going to do? I agree with you, Pete, on the fact that they have to be in the top 4, but it's also about maximizing your squad, maximizing what you have at your disposal. And for me, that's the part. You could accept. It's not about the tie. It's not about the point drop, which it is a very bad point to drop for Juventus if you actually are fighting for a title.
They're lucky they got that.
But I'm saying before the match, a tie was not, for me, not a good result against Atalanta. You needed to win this if you want to put the pressure on. But it's about the fact that there's just confusion within the squad, and you're not. It's kind of like what to a lesser extent what Amorim does with Manchester United, where he continues to stick by his same thing, even though you're watching and you're saying, hold on, this player, you're actually hurting him by putting him in that position. That's the thing that bothers me more than anything else with the squad.
I gotta tell you something. One thing that I've noticed, and I've been watching Juventus like religiously. The same way AC Milan is starting the season with the new sporting director. You guys got what's his name? Comolli,
but
okay, hold on.
But they still want to add a sporting director.
One second. I seen that since Agnelli and Nedved, they're no longer sitting right there, just the present itself. I see once in a while the camera goes in faces that they never can relate.
Ferrero. Went to Ferrero.
Yeah, the Presidente della... You're not related to these guys here like those has anything to do with the sports, the soccer, the competition.
It's a traditional way of looking at it.
I know, Marco, let me just say something. With Agnelli and with his lapdog, I used to call him his lapdog. What's his name? Nedved? Juventus, they had even c'era un progetto. They had a project. Right now, you find yourself with the 3 forwards, okay? And you don't know which one you're going to plug at what time, whether to start one, to let the other 2 sit, or whether to start the 2 of them. It's a mess. There is a lot of confusion. And
What's your point?
My point is that Tudor is not all wrong. Tudor is not all wrong. No.
What do you mean?
Because he's been given this material, and now he found himself with so many players playing the same position that they're stepping on each other's steps, and they're not capable to,
What do you mean? Kalulu is at a position that's not Igor. Adzic, he makes him start after he takes 1 shot in the game.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, do you want to know the good news or you don't want to go?
Give me the good news.
All right, because you wanted the good news. The good news is Zagrova. This guy is good.
I like him.
Okay?
I like him.
When he went in.
I like him. This guy is good.
When
He's much better than what you have.
Okay, then Adzic.
Okay.
This guy, he can make things happen.
All right.
Yeah. Unbeaten. Okay? And you're 1 point from first place. That's a good
That we've seen unbeaten before. Thiago Motta's Juve was unbeaten for a while, remember?
Yeah, but that was
Thiago.
Thiago.
You want to know the bad news? Thiago Motta. You want to know the bad news? You want to hear the bad news right now?
I hope it's not
You want to hear the bad news?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
First of all, Sunday is for soccer. Sunday are for calcio, whatever. Sunday, you're going to lose.
You're going to lose?
I can't believe Juventus Milan next week.
Sunday.
I don't know about that.
Sunday, you're going to lose.
That's a great game. That's a great
Sunday, you're going to lose
That's a
1
great
second
game.
because the bad news is still coming.
That's
And
the good news.
1 second. No, this is the bad news double, time to square. Bad news
Okay.
like D2. Okay, bad
You know,
news
you
square.
know where the game has been
Bad
played?
news square is that 2 doors is not going to see the panettone. He's not going to
You think
make
he's
it.
going to be sacked?
Yes.
You just said it's not his fault. He was dealt a bad
Yeah,
hand.
but
But he's still going to be sacked.
yes.
Okay.
It's not all his
Okay.
fault. Well,
You know where the game has been played, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Torino. So what?
Juventus is not going to
So,
lose.
oh yeah?
It's not going to lose.
A dinner.
All right.
Let's give some credit to Atalanta too. Started the season really bad, ties to Pisa and Parma, not scoring goals, a lot of injuries they had, players requesting transfers. They lost to PSG, but okay, you know, everybody's going to lose to PSG. They got back on track in the last couple of games with the results that they had. And for me, just self-aware of how they had to play. That's what I love when a coach goes with the right game plan. You make a mistake from the game plan, I could accept it. But he went in with the right idea. Juventus has 2 flaws. They get killed on the counter because they actually don't have good 1v1 defending. They have poor 1v1 defending. They defend in numbers, which is why sometimes they don't concede. They have bad 1v1 defending. They give up so many balls. Juventus, if you press them, you could hurt them. The way that Oozing was giving up the ball, I mean, it was so up before he even conceded the goal. I was screaming, "What is Oozing doing? How many times are you going to give up the same ball?" So they were so smart at picking their moments, and I give Juric a lot of credit because he was dealt a very difficult hand with the players not wanting to train and the transfers and losing so many players and being in the shadows of Gasperini. Not an easy task. He brought this kid Sulemana with him from Southampton, and the guy scored a fantastic goal. I think Kristovic is another player. Did not have a great game against Juventus, but I think he's another guy. He scored a brace the week before against Torino. I think he's a fantastic player. He plays the kid, 17-year-old Ahanor, in center back because, again, he's missing so many defenders. I'm happy for him. He had Bellanova running like a train down the right side. Just so smart. Of course, that's exactly the game plan you had to do. Maybe they conceded too many chances, Pete. I would agree. You're playing away from home, though. But at least you had a game plan. They stuck to game plan, and it was the right one.
The Catalara comes in only 15 minutes before the end of the game.
He's been coming back from injury.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Without the Catalare, because the Catalare is a big.
That's the move that I question when I was watching the game.
Which
The 15 minutes left in the game. Kristovic is not doing that much.
He wasn't doing well.
You bring Lookman in that time, who's somebody who's fast, who can dribble. It's going to scare the defense from, and he's going to keep everybody back from Juventus. He brought in the Catalar. I don't know. I would have brought Lookman. If he brings Lookman, this game is.
Was he ready to play? Was he on the bench?
He played 5 minutes the match before, but I wonder if it's from Juric, like an ego thing. Like,
Yes.
I'm gonna give the guys who have been training with me
It's an ego thing. It's
Instead
something that's. But listen, here you need to win the game. You know, when you there, you need to win the game.
I think they could have. I think
Yeah.
they really could have.
Atalanta dropped 2 points in Torino.
But it's a fantastic result, though.
I'm
dropped
not
2
disagreeing
points.
with you.
It's still a great result.
That defensive mistake
Still
over
great.
there. Juventus will have never scored like that.
It's true. They gave them. They
just
actually gave them.
They gifted us a go score.
They gave them the goal. But yeah, like you said, they did have their opportunities, but just left
different
this
Atalanta team, even
It's
with
different.
the same players.
less pressure, less aggression.
It's not Gasperini's Atalanta already.
But you know what? I didn't hate it. I actually
They did what
They
they
played
could
well.
do.
Yeah.
They played well.
Yeah, I liked the approach. Speaking of approaches, you're Roma. Gasperini at Roma. We built up the attacking ability. He's the Ivy League for strikers. The guys, they have the best defense right now on record in terms of goals conceded in all of Europe. They conceded 1 goal. They conceded to who did they concede? Torino, to Simeone, who the only loss that they had. Besides that, they've been flying so high. They get 2-0 win again. Surprisingly enough, he starts Dovbyk, a player who all summer they asked him about Dovbyk. He listed like 30 qualities that Dovbyk had where he needed to improve. They tried to sell him until the last minutes of the market. They were looking for the swap with Jimenez. He starts him in this game, and 8 minutes in, the guy Dovbyk scores a goal. So it's a great problem for Gasperini to have. Gasperini is getting the most out of players. Dovbyk, you could say, Pellegrini as well. He's also dealing with his own fair share of injuries with Dybala not being there and trying to manage moments. They have European football in the Europa League, which, I looked at some of the odds for Roma to go far in Europa League. They're one of the favorites to win all of Europa League. It's so far the project.
Roma?
Yeah, they're one of the favorites. They're right there. I still think, for me, they're a step below the title challengers. People are going to think that's disrespectful for the results that they have and the fact that they're 1 point out of top 4. But if I look at the performances, I still think they're a step below. But take nothing away. It's been an amazing start.
I put them fourth, by the way.
They're going for Champions League. That's where their goal is. I think they're missing something on the wings. If they can get somebody on the wing, I think this team it's pretty good.
You know who's
going to go far?
You know who's a sneaky good signing too? Not in this game, their previous match in Europa League. Tsimikas. The guy played at Liverpool.
I haven't seen him then. I haven't seen him play
He gave
yet.
the assist to Mancini in
I
the
haven't
Europa
seen the
League.
game. I didn't watch the
He
game.
gave such a perfect ball, and I say to myself, man,
Mike must be happy.
Roma have this sort of quality on the bench. The guy played in big matches. So well done in that sense. But I know they have a great defense. I still always get concerned defensively, not because of how they're going to defend as a unit, but because of defending individually. They're capable of giving up.
Are they talking about this Cornet that is going to leave?
We don't know. We don't know if they might be able to retain them. A lot of teams, they want him.
If you sell that player...
Ranieri has already laid the groundwork. If you've seen his interviews, he basically said FFP, and Pete could probably speak to this better, Roma still have financial fair play issues, and they're going to have to sell a player. Who's going to have the most value in the squad?
Not this guy. They can't sell this guy.
Gaetano,
who's going to pay that?
No, Sharawi. Leave me Sharawi alone.
AC Milan. He
Listen
goes
to
back
me.
to AC Milan.
You said something about Gasperini before. Let me just say something. Gasperini is a motivator. Even when he trashes the player, he did it to Lookman. You remember when he missed that penalty over there in the Europa League or whatever? Then he almost trashed him. I said he was not supposed to be taking the penalty.
Champions League, right?
It was a Champions League or Euro, whatever. He trashed him publicly. So to the point that I said, oh my God, how can Gasperini talk to Lookman like that after all he won with him? His fortune was basically...
Okay.
One second.
Okay, you're contradicting yourself.
Now, relax.
Tell him why.
So he's doing now the same thing he's doing to Dovbyk the week before he did it to Pellegrini.
Baldanzi.
Look what's going on with those guys. I'm sure he says to them, I said, listen, I'm going to trash you in front of the camera, but then it's only to get those stupid commentator over here to say something. But at the end of the day, the guy does not dislike anybody. Gasperini is playing with your mind, and your mind. He's not playing with my mind.
So do you think
Conte is playing with your mind?
Conte is doing the same thing with De Bruyne?
No, Conte is different.
Conte is
Why?
different.
How so?
Conte is different.
Explain.
Conte.
Explain to our minds, because we can't
explain.
get it.
The minds.
We don't understand.
Conte is not capable to do that, number one. Conte, what he says it, he means it, number one. And number two, Conte is, I am God. Nobody else. And nobody else can say, when I'm right, I'm right. When I'm wrong, I'm right. So this
Sounds
is
like somebody I know.
That's what Conte is. With Conte, you cannot have not even an opinion. You cannot have an opinion. With Conte, whatever he says, you have to say, yes, sir. That's it.
Anto, you're really contradicting yourself.
No, I'm not.
You are.
No, I'm not.
You're really
no,
contradicting
I'm
yourself.
not.
Let's go.
No, I'm not. Don't go back and look at the tape right now.
Let's
go on.
You want to move on?
Yeah, move on.
Are you sure you want to move
You
on?
sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, because we're going to talk about Padre Pioli.
Oh.
I have a stat here.
Oh, no.
It's the first time since 1978 that they don't have a win after 5 games.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No, you should know that.
Don't let it deflect. That. 0-0 to Pisa.
Boy.
What?
Thank God, actually, for that, because they could have lost the game,
you
too.
know, and they got...
Right, Pete?
They got lucky because there was, I think there was...
Meister's handball. The handball.
The handball. I mean, when you score the goal, I understand that's the rule. So there's nothing you can do. You have to change the rule. If you touch the ball with your hand and you score, it's not a goal. So
was not like
so
this.
that one will let it go. But then there was another handball. But there was a play where the guy was so close to the goal, and he hit the post. Was that?
Yeah.
It was difficult to do that.
Yeah, he hit the crossbar.
He hit the crossbar. It was like 1 yard from the goal.
Jesus Christ.
He hit the crossbar. Yeah. So now Fiorentina, to tell you the truth, I thought at this point they would be better than Bologna. They would be better than Como. They would be ahead of those teams.
They got a bad break. They're gonna come back.
It's gonna be tough now because the Piazza is against them. There's a bad feeling in the community there. They put him down all the time. Pioli goes and does this conferences. He looks beat up. He looks like he's getting beat up.
Also, he said he saw improvements. He said he saw improvements.
Yeah.
What improvements?
Yeah.
I didn't see any improvements.
It's incredible that somebody like Moise Kean, who this guy, everything he touched last year, it was a goal, and now he can't score. And they spend a lot of money for Piccoli. I mean, he spent a lot of money. He said they spent the most money ever for a
record transfer.
Yeah, record, and this guy is on the bench. I mean, where's Zeko and where is Albert Goodmanson?
He played. Fazzini and him played.
Who?
Yeah, but
he played. Albert played.
But I said Zeko, Piccoli.
Goodmanson. What about Goodmanson?
Goodmanson was there.
He was there. He was there, but
it's been 2 years that he's.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything.
He doesn't make nothing.
I thought the guy had crazy quality to it.
Me too.
I loved.
Me too.
I
thought this guy was above everybody else.
Me too.
He doesn't make the difference.
Not at all.
He does not make the difference.
Pete.
I just think there's a lack of quality with Fiorentina.
Really?
Yeah, because I look at Sassuolo, and you have Berardi, Loriente on the wing. Who's making a difference of Fiorentina? I mean, Keane, to be fair, he needs service.
Pinamonti.
So, he doesn't get the service that he's supposed to get. I know he's missed his chance. He hasn't been spectacular, but sometimes the strikers can get a little cold, and they need a goal to start
comparison that you made
to get hot. But when you look at this Fiorentina team, they have no wingers. Pioli lived on the wingers with Milan. That's what made him successful. The team, for me, hasn't gotten better. You brought up Nico Caviglia, but Caviglia was with Venezia.
I like him. I like Nico Luci.
Som was with Parma. Wasn't a guy that's going to win you games.
But when they brought them in, Som was supposed to be this great player.
15 million. Scored against Manchester United.
Nicolosi is supposed to be this great player. Fazzini was supposed to be
Fazzini for me he was not the jump. He was not the jump for Fiorentina.
He was the best young player that played in the region there, and it was the best player.
I think that's a little exaggerated.
That's what they sold it as.
The problem is that you're not getting these players gelling. One,
that's true.
And two, they're not going to lead Fiorentina to the next step. That's the biggest thing for me. Those players are good players, but they're just going to be in the middle of the Classifica. That's what the middle of the table.
And the other teams have gotten better.
They're not bringing this team better.
And everybody around them has gotten better. I feel like Fiorentina has watched. It's like they've watched everybody just keep going on a steady climb, even if it's been slow. They had their opportunity. They had the opportunities where they were fighting for fourth place. They were going to the Conference League finals. They had really good coaches. I still go back to, and I know that you're not going to like that I say it, but I still go back to the decision of getting Pioli, which was, for me, you were going a completely different route with Palladino. You were going younger, a different style of football. And then Palladino gives an interview, by the way. Was it the day after the game? Or I think it was the day after the game, where Palladino said, even before the season ended, even before they gave him the renewal on his contract, he said, I started knowing that there's not the conditions to succeed here. He thought that the club was not going to put him in the right place to succeed, which also is a big statement against Fiorentina for Palladino to come out and say this. again, a young
Blaming
coach.
who? No, Prade or
He didn't name names. He said the club, the
club.
the executives,
The club is technically Prade
directors.
because Commisso is the one that whatever Prade tells him to do.
Basically, they're going to give him a worse team the next year. Basically,
The team this if you look at the transfer window, all the players that they got last year, maybe 1, 2 stayed. They let go of it. They had all the loan plus options. They let go of everybody from last year.
But they kept De Gea. They kept Dodo. They kept Keane.
Yeah.
The big question in the summer was, can they keep those guys?
Yeah, but look at the players that they bought that they all had to send away.
The midfield is completely different.
Okay, but Icone, Inzola, Barak, all these
Adli.
players, Adli.
Cataldi.
So all these
And then they lost
players-
Bove as well.
All these players have been issues. So like, what are you doing? From one year to the next, you have a whole new team, new coach,
100%
new idea.
agree.
You're not able to build.
But they're better than this. They're better than this.
On the paper.
They are.
Paper.
That's so for me. It goes down to
On
coaching.
the paper, now you have to come with the motivation. The motivation is 70% of the game.
Yeah, but also
You have
tactically-
to come in motivated, ready, charged. That thing here, a lot of people, they just do not read into those things. The coach is not a motivator. The coach is not a motivator. Who is the one that is going to plug the into the outlets for to everybody sparking on the field? Those guys, they come into the field already with no charge on. You ever have somebody with the blood, with the fire on their eyes when they walk into the field? Those guys, they don't have it right now.
They look so slow.
Slow.
Do you watch
Very slow.
Fiorentina?
Lethargic.
It's like
Slow.
lethargic.
Lethargic, right?
Detergent.
Liturgic, no, I said liturgic. Liturgic.
They look like they're moving in a different speed than the rest of Serie A. Everybody, every player on Fiorentina, I can't even stick. I love some of their guys.
Dodo is the only one that I see.
Yeah, but even Dodo. But again, they're not for their position right now. They're not to have 0 wins in Serie A.
they should be.
They're not there.
Middle of the table.
No matter what.
Gaetano, your coach, Pioli, he might not even make it to the Thanksgiving turkey. Forget about the panettone.
He might make it a Halloween costume.
No, well, the Thanksgiving, I wanted to see him make it to the turkey, and then,
What do you think? Do they have to move on?
Yes.
Is it time to
So who do you go
cut your
after?
losses?
Get
Spalletti.
Get Palladino
Mamma
back.
mia.
Spalletti.
Did he coach Fiorentina? In
He's
the
from
past?
Tuscany.
I know, we know.
I don't think he ever coached Fiorentina.
I don't think he will take that team. He will not. I'll tell you. He's not going to do that.
He interviewed for the job a few years ago, and then
They told him no?
He said no. He
What was
goes,
there? Mancini?
He goes, this is not for me.
Tiago Motta?
No, I mean, you got to leave him there, a few more weeks.
A few more.
Thanksgiving then.
A few more weeks.
How many? One end?
Actually, the next game is against Roma.
Oh.
Wait, I think their next games they're really
That's
bad
a
next
tough-
games after that too.
Fiorentina,
They're gonna
Roma.
be in the relegation zone for a while.
And then Fiorentina, I think Inter maybe.
Mamma mia.
I'm gonna
Or Inter Fiorentina.
So Fiorentina's next game, Madonna.
Madonna? She's a singer.
Roma, Milan, Conference League game, Bologna, Inter.
Wow.
Roma, Milan, Bologna, Inter.
That could be.
They're going to be winless going into November. I
That's what
can't
I'm
see them
saying with
winning
the
one of those
Turkey.
games.
You never know.
Maybe
Yeah,
Bologna.
okay.
You never know.
That Turkey's going to have no stuffing
Cremonese
inside.
beat Milan. You never know.
Oh, yeah? They might.
All right.
I'm not too sure about that. That's
It's tough.
You know,
That's
the-
scary.
Hey,
I think they could beat. They could get a win there.
didn't somebody say that when they placed Pioli in like 6 or 7 places before the beginning of the season, then they said, "Oh, we're going to be challenging for the Champions League."
Pioli said it.
Huh?
Pioli said it, yeah.
That's what I said.
Pioli said it.
I said, "Oh my
Pioli
God!"
said
I
it,
said,
which
"Yo,
is
this
also-
guy here. This guy here is
Let's
smelling
keep
blood."
moving.
Oh, look at him.
Two nice things, Pete. We'll tie you and Antonio in together. Young Italians scoring goals this weekend, scoring their debut goals, which is a weird rivalry online, by the way. I don't know if you guys
Camarda.
see it on Twitter. Have you seen this?
Oh, I love that.
Camarda, 17 years old, scored for Lecce, scored the 2-2 against Bologna. Terrible result for Bologna once again.
Good.
But-
What do you mean? Good for Lecce. I don't like it.
Bad for Bologna. Zlatan Ibrahimovic posted a message, basically him ignoring Camarda on Instagram, where Camarda, as a young kid a couple years ago, said, "Zlatan, I love you. I play on Milan's youth team. I just want to say you're a legend," and all these like nice things. And then Zlatan said, "You went from wanting to know me, and now the whole world knows who you are." So nice. And again, he's 17. He's 17 years old. He's a big boy. It was a beautiful header from him.
Sicilian heritage.
Is he? Do you know from where?
San Cataldo, vicino
San
Cataldo.
Cataldo. Oh.
Of course. And then, Peter, for you, since we didn't talk about Inter in this, where you had a nice routine win, I would say, against Cagliari. Francesco Pio Esposito, 20 years old. He's been putting in great performances all year long. We said it before. His last 2 months of his career have been incredible. Stayed with Inter, made his Serie A debut, made his Champions League debut, made his Italy debut. The goal was coming. He finally gets the goal. And my favorite part of the goal is Kivu's reaction, who looks like a proud father just watching him. The celebration that he gave, it was a nice moment.
Screaming.
Yeah, I mean, first off, when you see that type of player that grew up in the youth ranks also be able to score for the first team, it's beautiful. I think already Esposito, the way he's playing, is 10 times Taremi and Correa put together. Okay? So just to show you that, I'd rather take this kid. If he's going to make mistakes, he makes mistakes, but at least I know that he's on the right trajectory. Not that I got to watch players that they don't even know how to tie their shoes. So
it's material for Gattuso too. It's material for Gattuso.
You don't see Peter get that mad that
Oh,
often.
Pete.
because when you can't stop a ball, it frustrates me. When you can't touch a ball and you said, it frustrates me. This kid already holds up the ball as if he's been doing it for 10 years.
He's a unit.
His body size, he knows how to position his body. He's going to press. He's not the quickest of guys, but he's a different quality of a striker. And he knows his hold up, but even the passing.
He's
He
powerful.
looks
Passing
to make
is
the
good.
right passing. I want him to be a little bit more
Aggressive, right?
Not necessarily aggressive, but have an ego to just shoot the ball when you're in front of net and don't look always to lay it off. But it will come. You'll see his abilities prosper. And I think you're training with top players. You got Lautaro Thuram there that you can learn from. Even the kid Boni. I mean, he's starting more games than Boni, who I thought would have been the third striker.
He had an ankle injury, I think, for this game.
Okay, so these are things that you like to see when you look at Inter. Because I was, maybe we'll talk about it afterwards. Don't let me, let me forget. But that's the reality of these teams. Back in the day, Milan, the players, they came up from the youth system, and they were the core, group of guys for that team. Inter, same thing. There was players that have played that grew up from the youth ranks that played for the
Barcelona's team was all the youths.
Okay.
They
Exactly.
wound
So
up winning World Cups. And,
Manchester United, we were talking about Amorim. Manchester United, the reason why they're never going to be what they were, or they have to go back to their roots. That's why I said in the group chat, which means when Manchester United became good, it was because the class of 92, okay? They had 5 guys from the youth ranks that were developed, and they went into the first team and started playing. They knew what it was to play for Manchester United. You don't have the price tag, $70 million on your head, that now all of a sudden you have all the pressure in the world. And the fans, they've seen you play since you were 15 years old. They're not going to kill you. They're going to make sure that you're supported 100% to do your thing. And they know what it is to wear the Manchester United shirt, or you know what it is. So that's one part of what I want to say. And then at the end, I want to say something as well.
Do you know who gave him the assist?
Chi è stato? It was Di Marco, also Inter player,
Inter youth player.
youth player. Barella, even though he wasn't with the Inter youth, grew up an Inter fan. So Bastoni, I always said the core. If you have a core Italian guys too, they know what it is to play for the jersey. And then, of course, you need to be able to have the quality, so you don't just play.
But this
Italian
is what
players,
we should
but you
have, Pete, because the national team, that's what we need. We need the teams to starting to challenge, to just have the courage to put those young kids inside.
And they have
just
to be good.
Put Camara,
At the end
put
of the day, at the end of the day,
Esposito.
they have to be good. That's
you have
that's
to
the
be good,
basis.
sure.
But I think that's also one of the good things about getting Kivu that I think you could say compared to Inzaghi is that Inzaghi, would we see Pio Esposito get on the field?
Yeah, no.
Kivu knows him since he's been at the youth team, right? He's got the courage. There's a fantastic interview from, I think, did I send it to you guys, from Fabregas, where he talks about how Barcelona's financial struggles actually led to them being forced to investing in their youth structure. Otherwise, he says, we wouldn't see the Pedis, the Yamals. We don't even need to make the name.
Yep.
So it's a nice thing to see. It's a beautiful thing.
Talking about Fabregas, I wanted to watch Como play because I don't know any of the players. I said, let me learn a few of the names and see how they play. So I watched the whole game, And in defense, there was this guy, Posh, which I think
Posh from Bologna.
Posh, we know him from Bologna.
player.
And then in front of the defense, they have two players. One is Perrone, and one is S. Roberto. I think
Sergio Roberto.
I think it's
That's
Sergio
That's the
Roberto.
famous Sergio Roberto.
Didn't he play in Barcelona?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they
That's
have,
what I'm saying.
So they have the four in the back, and then they have these two guys in front of the defense, which they both know how to play with the ball. You put pressure, they bomb. In front of these two guys, they got three guys. They got Nico Pass on one side, they got Kuhn in the middle, and they got Jesus Rodriguez on the left side. This guy is so fast. And he goes down the wing and he crosses the ball for the Greek Duvikas.
Is he Greek?
Yes,
Is it?
He's not Greek.
He's not
Lithuanian,
Greek.
I
He's
think.
Lithuanian.
I would have
Lithuanian?
known. It's
Mike, I made it Greek.
you
Maybe
know why?
not even Lithuanian. What is it?
Duvikas. I thought
There's
it was.
no way he's Greek because Mike would have.
Oh,
been.
yeah, what I'm
and his
saying.
name is. Wait, he is Greek.
He is,
Anastasios Duvikas.
Yeah, Duvikas. I mean, the
Wow.
name is Greek.
Anastopoulos Anastasios.
Oh, yeah.
Anastasios.
Why, he doesn't play for Greece.
So
That's crazy. He hasn't
so
been
I
called
watched
out.
the game and I wanted to be familiarized with the names, and they really play a nice brand of modern. And Fabregas says all the right things too.
He does. He's another one that I think we're lucky to have in the league.
Yeah.
Pete, what's the last thing that you wanted to say? And then we'll end the pod.
You didn't say anything about Camarda, by the way. You know?
we just did.
Well, Camarda should be
just did.
should be playing more. Should be given more minutes, not just the last 5.
He didn't
10
start.
minutes.
He didn't start.
What I wanted to say, and it goes to the point where we were talking about as far as Camarda and Esposito, which by all means it's great to see Milan, Inter being able to develop players, playing in Serie A and doing what's great, and being important, hopefully within the national team as well. But what I get frustrated about, and this is something that I don't think a lot of people talk about in Italy, is the fact that investment in the youth, investment in the structures and the training facilities, and even the smaller teams having players that can develop. Why I say that is what I've noticed now, especially a lot of the top teams, they loan their players to the Serie B teams and to the Serie C teams. And what it does is it stunts the development of the younger player to go through. The Serie C team, because financially they're at a struggle, they rather take the player on loan. They get paid for taking the player from the,
They get paid
from the
too?
federation because
That's
of
interesting.
a certain age, and you don't have to pay any salary. You don't have to pay any expenses.
So
right?
how does it
Beyond
stunt
stuff.
it?
So what it stunts
Explain
it is, back in the day, the smaller teams used to invest in the youth, invest in their farm system to be able to develop the player
And sell
to
it.
be able to play him in the first team, to be able to sell him. So two top players, right? Roberto Baggio didn't start in a Milan Primavera or whatever youth system, Inter youth system. He started in Vicenza, okay, which is a historic team, but it's not a top team.
So did Paolo Rossi start in Vicenza.
Okay, Del Piero started in Padova.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So we need the smaller teams that have a historic cult following, even in the South, to be able to develop players, invest in the team, invest in the youth, because you don't have to spend the millions of dollars if you start at the right age and develop a player.
You know who's doing that? And we haven't gotten to talk about it on this podcast, but because of my Serie A prep, I went deep on Cagliari, right? And Cagliari made a really big decision this summer, which was to go for Pisacane, one of the youngest coaches. He's from he's from Naples, but he understands Cagliari really well. And they had such a disagreement. Ownership had such a disagreement with their sporting director because their sporting director wanted Vanoli. They wanted a completely different idea. And the owner said, we need to invest in our young kids. Pisacane won the Coppa Italia with Cagliari's Primavera. Yeah. And he only believes in young players. What does he want to do? Kind of like what Athletic Bilbao do in Spain. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. They only have players from the Basque region. The Basque region of Spain, you only can play for Athletic Bilbao. That's it. They don't go get anybody else. They only develop players from their area. So Cagliari, in a way, are trying to only develop players from Sardinia, from the Sardinia region, where they build them up through the youth system because they've already had success. And because Pisacane knows a lot of the young guys in the Coppa Italia that he won with, they're going to push them through that system. So it's a different approach. And so far, Cagliari's had really great results. Yeah, they've also been able to adapt really well. And this is a decision that I'll be honest. At first, when I saw it, I said, wow, that's a big risk. Cagliari, for a team like Cagliari, to go for Pisacane, to go for the young team. But if it pays off, it could be something really nice. And you know what it is, Pete. It's always the first one that does it. Then all of a sudden, everybody will start to copy.
Well, Atalanta, they always had the structure to develop the youths and all the stuff. So they always were top of the line.
But you know what you're talking about small teams right now.
Yeah, I'm talking about the smaller team. I'm talking about the whole ecosystem, not just Serie A. You know, I know we speak about Serie A, but even the Serie C teams, if you have the structure, you need to invest in the youth, because that's going to be your future, where you can develop the players. It might take 5 to 10 years.
That's probably their
it's
problem.
going to take time, but you have to have the sporting project to develop players in the area. The way it used to be all the time, the European, your city, and you used to go over the certain area and find the best player within those areas. Then you sprinkle in some guys.
I have another take for that, you, Pete. I have another take, yeah.
What were we going to... You had something else?
No, I was going to say, like, even with Lecce, for example, they had a full Primavera starting 11 without any Italian players, which by all means it's fine, right? But develop the players in that area, because there are plenty of players that need that opportunity to go up.
Listen, what's going on right now, Pete?
Wonder why.
I'm not sure if this is could be brought out as an example. In United States, for example, people they're starting to play. Oh, we are on the varsity team, and then high school. Oh, I'm on the traveling team, and then the college. Oh, it got picked up by this team here because soccer scholarship. In Europe, I went to school in Europe. We do not have those structures. Different structure. But they're not conducive for somebody like a scout like you, Pete, to say, hey, listen, University of Milan right now is playing against the University of Firenze. Ingegneria di Milano against Ingegneria di Firenze. 1 second. So there is no such a competition like that. Over here we have a college competition. Notre Dame is playing this guy.
Yeah, but it's a different structure.
It is a different structure.
You could even just use a football example, right? Just use Argentinian players. You go look at any league in the world. If you go look, I randomly had to do this, in the Dutch league, in the Algerian league, most of the time it's an Argentinian top goal scorer in those leagues. There's like a stat about how many are Argentine top goal scorers.
What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is the Argentines and the Spanish, clearly they got it right in football. They're the ones that are developing the talent for the world.
Depends.
How are they not?
Because a lot of it's bias, right? So when you think of Italy, what do you think? Oh, great defender. Meanwhile, our best players right now are strikers in Italy. If we look at our goalkeepers, maybe.
No, but they're clearly developing more talent.
And when it comes to scouting, when you go to Argentina, Buenos Aires has about 10 teams in the area. So you go to that city for 1 month, you'll see about 20 teams.
But clearly they're developing. There was a quote from I can't remember who that said France's fourth team would still beat Italy's first team right now. The players that they don't call up, the players that France doesn't call up. How many times was Dybala not called up for Argentina? Yeah. And Dybala would have walked into the Italy 11. It's just, that's the point. Like, you don't need to go even to American sports.
Dybala had Messi in front of him.
Yeah. And Messi was rejected by Juventus. He was too skinny, whatever. He was too small. Was he? That's what I heard.
Where'd you read this?
Messi was not good enough for Juventus.
Milan.
It was Massimo Di Culo. All right, we're good?
Did we miss anything? Whoa, Lazio. We have to speak about Lazio.
They won 3-0.
They won 2-0 in Torino.
Lotito brought them to the priest.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Wait, say the story. Say it.
So,
supposedly Lotito he needed a benedizione for Lazio.
For Sarri or
for Lazio,
just for
because
Lazio.
he thinks there's been a lot of superstition, a lot of voodoo stuff going on.
So did they do it before or did they do it?
I think they did it before.
And they got 3.
And they won 3-0.
Now,
why are you shaking your head?
And they won away. They won away. They won away. Look at him.
This is TikTok.
TikTok. Instagram.
TikTok. Hey, TikTok is the
channel.
TikTok is the main. TikTok is the main. TikTok, you mean?
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon.
TikTok.
Ciao, ragazzi.